you play to your strengths. When your offense ain't clicking, it's good that we're bringing our defense to the party. You know what I'm saying? And we have for 3 weeks. To give up in today's NFL, man, you give up 53 points in 3 games. I mean, that's not even 20 points a game. So if they do that, you should win the majority of your games. You know what I'm saying? It's an issue. You know what I mean? The offense is an issue. Um, and I told you, I don't like, just I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. Like, okay, I think you do play to your strength, and we know everybody knows the running game is this team's strength right now, and we're not going to beat teams 35-10. That's not how we're going to win
We're
games.
not
You know
gonna
what I'm
beat teams without it. Period.
saying?
Right.
Yeah, of course, Yep. But like you said, and we've been saying it, I said for this team to be a Super Bowl team, uh, 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 you know, it's a lot of good teams in the NFL, but I think the quarterback is what separates you from being a Super Bowl championship caliber team. And I don't know, Jared Goff's not playing like that right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's not to knock against him, or that's not saying that he can't do it or this team can't do it. It's just I'm just glad the defense is on the same page with Aaron Glenn right now because it shows. I mean, and Walt, right now, listen, we got a 3-0. We're gonna get into it this week. We got a 3-0 Seattle team coming in here Monday night, and I think that you're gonna have to maybe score. I said it this week game, and we only needed 20 to win. But I think next week you're gonna have to score. You know what I'm saying? You can't score 20 and think that's gonna be enough. If you hold Seattle's defense to 20 or less, then we got something special going on, I believe. Defensively, I can say that. But like you said, well, I agree. The defense is the issue, man. I mean, the offense is the issue right now. Um, but I do think we got so many weapons. I mean, one week it may be Laporta. Laporta got his feet up under him. He looked nice today. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how bad that ankle is. It may be something, maybe a lingering injury all year long. You know what I'm saying? 1 week it might be Gibbs and Montgomery. 1 week it might be St. Brown. 1 week it might be J-Mo. You know what I mean? So I don't think you got enough balls to throw out and let it make everybody happy in one game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad we got off the schneid, beat this team. I mean, the Cardinals aren't very good, but I was just worried the fact that Kyler Murray, he did it in the first quarter. He got some couple first downs, man. It was frustrating. Right off the bat, he was doing what we thought that he would do. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
ultimately, they were overmatched. You know what I'm saying? You could tell they couldn't complete a pass. The Lions didn't even need to score again in the second
Yeah.
half.
We were the better team that
Yeah,
we were able to hold off a bad team. It's
yeah,
just that.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
but you and to piggyback off what you just ended with, you're not gonna win too many games consistently going scoreless for entire halves. We've been talking about
Nope.
the third quarter droughts for this team for the last 3 years, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yep.
wasn't just a third quarter drought, it was a third and a fourth quarter drought. This team, through the first 3 games of the season now, has scored exactly 20 points in regulation in all 3 of these games.
Yeah.
Ended
Yeah.
up in a 26-20
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
overtime win over the Rams. Sorry about that. 20 points last week against Tampa.
Well, we scored
It-
16 of
well, yeah,
2016.
yeah,
But
16
yeah,
against
I
Tampa.
see
Yeah,
what you're saying,
but
though.
yeah,
You're
it's
right.
like it's crazy, man. Because the more I watch this offense, I'm starting to think, okay, maybe it's not all just completely Goff's fault. It may be a small percentage of it just his fault because the offensive line has been struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Just
you're
was
not
it
gonna
just
win too many games not being able to generate big plays as well.
yeah.
They still do what they normally do. They paper cut their way downfield. They run a horizontal offense. There's not a damn thing on the boundary. There's no perimeter action with this team. Golf
Mm-hmm.
is not putting the ball down the field. Like that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought Jamo would be that guy. Jamo probably still can be that guy. He's still coming along. As
Mm-hmm.
much as I love St. Brown is a really good player, really good wide receiver. He's not really that type of guy that can just change that can really tilt the game like that. He's a good player. I think his impact on the game comes in third downs, third and 10 pickup, stuff like that, shallow digs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of routes missing from our offense. When was the last time you seen a post? When was the last time you seen like a deep out? Um, and I think due to Jared Goff's arm, that's why there's a lot of plays missing from our offense, and that's another reason why our offense is so basic because
Yeah.
we leave so much potential out there on the field.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not just trying to blame Goff for this because we already knew his limitations, but the fact of the matter is we don't run a lot of routes. And peace to Lamar Horton for bringing this up to me the other day. He showed me the actual data on this for Detroit. Like there's like 4 or 5 routes that we
Hmm.
consistently run with St. Brown
Yeah.
and guys like Khalif Raymond from time to time. And Jamo has his routes that he runs, which isn't too complex for that matter. But there's so much explosive wise downfield that you just don't see from this offense.
Yeah.
And I think another problem is the fact that okay, it would be okay. We would be able to get by with this if Jameer was breaking these 45-yard, 50, 60-yard runs that we saw at Alabama. He's still kind of feeling his way around and getting accustomed
Yeah.
to the NFL, the speed of the game. And we hope, I mean, the talent is there for him. The speed is
Hmm.
there. We hope he can potentially become that game-breaking threat. But it's going to be hard, man, to really score more than 20 points in an NFL game if you can't generate any chunk plays.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
big issue for this team. Defensively, shout out to them. They pulling their weight right now.
Been great. Yeah.
Yeah,
They've been
but once the
unbelievable. Yeah.
level of competition goes up, it's gonna come a point in time where you're gonna have the offense gonna have to do it. And I think
Yep.
the biggest issue is personnel for them. They just don't have a wide receiver out there in the perimeter, alpha. And I understand St. Brown may be personality wise alpha. What I mean is a dude out there in the perimeter that can run all 9 routes. He don't have to be 6'4". He can be 6 foot. But like we brought up a guy like Garrett Wilson, like a guy that can go out there and get you 7 for 180 and a couple touchdowns, a guy that can completely tilt the aspect of a game. And I think a lot of Lions fans kind of started reading the press clippings of this team during the offseason, talent wise. We do have talent, a lot of talent on this team, but overall, if you're just being honest about it, outside of Jameson Williams, who else on this offense has the ability to tilt the game?
Well, and just uh what up, A Dub? And he was right, just with his comment, you know what I'm saying? I think the difference of what we had last year was the offensive line is the difference. And I don't know if they a factor like they was last year, man. You know what I'm saying? I think Glenn Glasgow is a weak link of this offensive line. I really do. Zeitler hasn't been great either, to be honest with you. I mean, I've seen him get bowled over plenty of times this year already. Ragnow seems like he's up to speed. He mid-season form. I like what I see from Ragnow. Decker, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to say he's long in the tooth thing already. I've just seen some things, they've been getting penalties and offsides and like they're anxious out there. And like you said, I think a lot of it is everybody's pressing, you know what I'm saying? These stakes is high, man, this year, you know what I'm saying? So everybody could be pressing a little bit. I think that the offense may be a little bit better than what you give them credit for. I think that they can win. The formula is there to win for this team. I just think that right now, for whatever reason, they're not hitting those because Jameson Williams can hit those long plays. We've seen that. I think that just what Mike Barker was saying. I agree with you, Mike. I think that they can win with the formula they had. They had it last year. I think Jameson Williams. I think Tim Patrick's going to be key. I like what I've seen from Tim Patrick actually, because he can get to the sideline and get those 10, 15 yard down. Golf can throw those passes, you know what I mean? And can complete those and keep the chains moving. I think the biggest part is Laporta's got to be healthy, you know what I'm saying, for me, because he could
Yeah.
take away, he can create some stuff in the middle of the field, sit down on the defense. And when Golf doesn't have that, then he's uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I think that's part of it. We seen it today. Laporta seemed like he was coming out of it, and then he got hurt again. It looked like he had a big old block of ice on his ankle, which I didn't like to see that. So I think St. Brown is, I told you, one of my favorite guys. I think he whenever you got that guy on your team, he gonna compete. You know what I'm saying? And he just gets open. You know what I'm saying? I think even because Arizona knew it was coming. I mean, I told you we was on the phone talking, Walt, and we Arizona knew it was coming, and they didn't have the personnel. I think it's a talent issue with Arizona too in their secondary,
Yeah,
and he was getting open time and time again. And I think that Goff, if a guy's open, he's comfortable because he knows he can get the ball. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, when it comes down to those tough third down and 10, I keep saying it. You They got away with it last year where they turned around just vanilla as hell, put St. Brown in motion, maybe put Skipper and Laporta or Brock Wright on one side and help out with an extra blocker and hand it to Montgomery, and he would get the 7 or 8 yards. It happened all the time last year. I don't know this year if you're gonna be able to do that, man, because teams
yeah,
are because Mike Slurry kept saying it. He said the Lions are perfectly running the ball because they got we was running two tight end sets a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? They had Brock Wright and Laporta in there helping out with the run game because they knew that was the only way to move the ball, and that's concerning to me. I mean, it seems like they don't trust Jared Goff right now. You know what I mean? And they know other
well,
teams are sitting back and they waiting for him to throw that little 10-yard pass that he's looking for, and when it's not there, then all hell breaks loose. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I think, and to
yeah.
reply to Mike's comment, I think a lot. Well, it's only been 3 games, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So they had get stretches last season where they kind of struggled offensively. They started slow last season offensively. The first few games, Golf started slow. I think he threw a pick in 3 of his first 4 games offensively last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the main thing last year was that they were still catching some people off guard, catching teams off guard offensively. A lot of the success that Laporta had last season, the touchdowns he scored, the big plays he had, were schemed up for him to get open. Now, a lot of it's not working this year. Also, as much as we may view Josh Reynolds as kind of an afterthought, Josh Reynolds was still a consistent number 3. You
Yeah.
know, he
Yep.
wasn't really that fast, straight line fast, but he was, for a guy that was 6'2", 6'3", he was pretty quick, pretty shifty. He was able to get open consistently and was able to keep drives alive.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a third consistent guy anymore. And I think with, like I said, as much as I do like St. Brown and do love St. Brown for that matter, if we just being completely honest about it, he's not that guy that's going to really tilt the game like that. We expect JMO to be that. Laporta, most tight ends aren't game changers like that. They
Mm-hmm.
can be really good players, but a lot of their success gets predicated off what else is going on within the offense. But I'm just saying, just be honest about it, man. It's been 3 games, 20, 20, and 20. They scored 6 points. They scored a touchdown in overtime against the Rams. But they're doing everything. And like I said, I'm not blaming everything on Golf for that matter. It's the play calling. It's the offensive line. I agree 1,000%. The offensive line isn't playing as well. And it's just the lack of chunk plays within this offense. You
Yep.
know, it was okay. It was good enough to beat Arizona today. And I know a lot of fans feel, hey, a win is a win. You still have to look at the competition because is that offense that we've seen against the Rams, Bucks, and Cardinals, is that enough to beat the upper echelon teams? You know, we thinking about how does this team get better as the
Mm-hmm.
season progresses, not just being happy with a particular win on a Sunday. And this team has issues, man. We just being honest about it.
Yeah.
Not being able to score points, not being able to crack 20 points that consistently is going to be troubling. You're going to have to start scoring some points, man. And I
Yeah.
think the whole we just gonna run the ball consistently.
Yeah. See,
People
that's
have
the
known that as our identity for these last 4 years. Well,
take it
this is the
away.
year 4 now. You got to get a little more evolved offensively, and
Yeah, I
it's
agree with
not
you on
right
that.
now.
100%. I agree with you 100%. Well, we on lockstep on that because I'm just trying to look at the next. We know we
What
got
up, Kirk?
Seattle. We got Seattle next Monday night, and then we got a bye week. We got the Cowboys in Dallas. Oh man, at Minnesota, that game suddenly against the Vikings turning out to be.
Look serious.
Yep, it looks serious now. And then we got the Titans. No worries there. And then you got the Packers in Green Bay. So and then the Texans. So yeah, we got some our work cut out for us. And then you did hear Dan Campbell say as much. Interview last week. He said that they might not be ready offensively till after the bye week. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
implementing everything that they have. Well, I'm not
Well, my
naive to the
question
fact.
is, if
I
we
agree
just
with you.
being 1,000% honest about it, look at the skill position players. What are they
Mm,
going to implement? I mean, I'm just talking about like from a personnel standpoint.
yeah.
Uh, Outside of JMO and St. Brown, what are they going to really implement? Or who else are they really going to implement within the offense? What are we going to start seeing that we haven't seen from Ben Johnson's offense over the last 3-4 years?
Well, I think that they are still putting plays there. I don't think the whole league has a whole playbook together right now yet. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that. Like Isaiah Williams, I think that was a guy who made the team and can make some plays, and he's been hurt. You know what I mean? I think that even Khalif Raymond was in on some stuff last year on some different looks and different packaging. Khalif Raymond's not been in there. You know what I'm saying? Sion Baki's not been in there. So I think right now I think they're just going a by game basis. I'm pretty sure they're working on some other things, but I think they just like whatever the game calls for. I think that's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't know if that's good or bad right now. You know what I mean? We
I think it's
know
good. It's too difficult to get a win in the NFL to not be happy about it.
this.
You
Yeah,
know, it's just, but
of course. Yeah, yeah.
you think Dan Campbell's in the locker room patting everybody on the back about how great it was. Like as a head coach,
No.
he sees everything. Head coaches are the most negative people in all of sports because
Yeah,
you got to keep a team going right. But I just think, like I said, personnel wise, man, there's too many routes missing from our offense. Like I
yeah,
said, Williams, whenever you see a deep post is going to Jameson Williams, you rarely ever see that. You don't
yeah,
see too many corner routes. You don't see too many deep comebacks. And like these are all routes that aren't really Jared Goff's specialty. And I
yeah,
keep going back to the fact that his limitations remove a lot from our offensive playbook.
yeah.
Now, are we still winning and can we win with him? Of course, I believe that.
Hmm.
But I'm just being honest. Like
That's
there's
right.
a lot of limitations, and we talk about the lack of mobility. Now he picked up that first down
Yeah,
on the
Jared was running on that.
and then
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pulled the Roy Williams. Yeah,
Then he
yeah,
said,
it's
then he went victory formation because he knew, like, oh shit,
yeah.
he was like, I ain't gotta run no more plays after this. But I didn't. I'm gonna just tell you what I didn't like about the game. This is what I didn't like.
What up,
I didn't
Corey?
like. You got interception. Kyler Murray throwing. He was throwing just
Playing goofy.
yeah, just throwing like alley oops out there. And for everybody that say Carlton Davis, this that dude, you get beat by the pass that Marvin Harrison caught in the end zone on Carlton Davis. That's inexcusable to me. You cannot have a guy throw a 30 yard noodle up there and you get totally faked out. But how was he so out of position on that play? Oh man, it drove me nuts. But anyways, after uh it's a situation where we stopped, Arizona got a pick, stopped them. I think it was once on fourth down, and then a couple times on downs. Well, we had four cracks at it to just bury this team, and we didn't do it. And that's what I don't like, man. I don't you give any quarterback, time to that many times to just put a nail in a coffin, that we use that scenario, that phrase.
Wait,
And we didn't do it. We gave them a chance. They literally had a chance to tie the game if they had just any kind of mismatch. If they had a mismatch on us on offense, we might have lost the game. You know what I'm saying? Because we had so many opportunities and didn't capitalize. It drove me crazy. You know what I'm saying? To win
hey,
this game 20-13. Oh, go ahead.
now I'm gonna ask you another question. Go back to something you said a few minutes ago about them not trusting golf. That's the first thing on that last possession.
Mhm.
I'm like, so they is same thing you said. Any other quarterback in the league, any high caliber quarterback in the league, head coach is putting the ball in their hands in most cases.
Yeah, you bury them, man.
Their identity is to take the ball out of their quarterback's hands and run the football. So you honestly believe they don't really trust him.
Yeah, I believe they don't. I believe much as Campbell says it for the cameras, they know. They know, and I don't want it to sound like that he's not good. Nah, he's no good. It's like it's a double edged sword because
No, he's good. He's
people
just he
gonna
has
take
his
it the wrong
limitations that
way.
they know.
Yeah, they know because they've been playing. You know, they you know what you can do, and like you, if you ask me to, I don't know, fix a snowblower, right? I know I can't do it, right? You know what I'm saying? I can try, you know what I mean? But chances are, if I put X, Y, and Z in the wrong spot, it might not start up, right? So if you trust, Jared Goff and in certain situations, but this late game, I'm gonna tell listeners, I'm gonna tell this is what I think is other teams are doing. Like you can see it, like on third down, crucial drives, crucial opportunities in the game, especially in the second half. And Corey, I think all our listeners already done said it. The second, third, and fourth quarters is an issue, man. When the stakes are higher in the game, that's when golf has got to be like on point. And for the most part, he's done that. He's done that last year. He did it. You know what I'm saying? But I think
Hey, go
in
ahead,
them
brother.
no, no. What I'm saying is, in them situations, teams got tape. Teams know what you're accustomed to. Teams know your tendencies. They know, man. They not just gonna sit back and let you do it. You know what I'm saying? Unless they just can't. But like Seattle, gonna be a hell of a test because we know the talent they have on defense. Especially in the secondary. So you're not
This
gonna be able to
is
get away with it. You know what I'm saying?
This is a whole nother conversation. These last two dudes right here just brought up.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to Antoine Williams first and piggyback off that with Corey. Agreed, he only works the middle of the field. He
Yeah.
leaves a lot of money on the table. He definitely misses a lot of throws to the sidelines. Corey followed that up with you
Yeah.
can see it how many times he has JMO streak downfield and he ignored him. He sees him, he just don't want to throw it long. That's the issue.
Mhm.
And I brought this question up to you last year when he was playing really well earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Kurt Warner to Ricky Prohl.
Yeah.
Before Kurt Warner became Kurt Warner, he had to have the balls to make that throw against that team at that moment when as covered as Ricky Prohl was. Everybody who watches football right now that's following this, y'all know exactly what throw I'm talking about, Kurt Warner to Ricky Prohl. If you're too young to remember that, hop on YouTube, they'll show you. That's the type of throw I'm talking about.
Hmm.
I'm not asking you to be Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not asking you to be Tom Brady. I'm not asking you to be Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson. If the moment calls for it, and it's the NFC Championship game, it's
Yeah.
the Super Bowl, it's win or go home. Can I trust you to be able to get that type of completion for us? Because the football guy's gonna put you in that moment. You know how it is. You play baseball when you're younger and you know good at it, and they put you out there with a glove. The baseball always finds you.
Yeah.
When you scared of the baseball always gonna find you. So if you're depending on protecting Jared Goff all season, you protected him from the baseball. It's gonna find him eventually. It's gonna become a moment where he's gonna have to make a big time throw. Tight coverage, your guy or nobody, or your guy or interception.
Hmm.
Can I trust you to do it? That's my whole thing. Outside of that, I think he's fine. I think he's fine. I haven't seen it. He's won a lot of games. He's been to a Super Bowl with the Rams. He got us off the snide, the 30-year snide or whatnot. We went all the way to the NFC Championship a year ago. But can you do that? Can you
Yeah.
be Kurt Warner to Ricky Prohl in the NFC Championship game to win it for us?
Yeah.
That's what I'm not so sure about.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, it is some good things I took out of the game. Like I said, it was. You know what I'm saying? We haven't even hit the defense yet. Jack Campbell, I thought was exceptional, playing that micro without Anzalone. I think, Mac
I think the corners
Rodriguez,
held their ground too.
yeah, help corners did it. And for everybody that wanna, you know, talk about, I'm just already tired of the Terry Arnold slander because I think that kid got some talent he could play. I think he can. I don't care.
No, he can't.
what everybody, I don't care what nobody say. I think that kid's gonna be all right, man. You know what I'm saying? He battles, he looks the part. I like he's not giving up any ground to anybody. That's what I like. It's gonna be very entertaining to see him go against Justin Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? And some guys, I think about time we played him in another 3 or 4 weeks, he might be ready to go step by step with him. You know what I'm saying? He's a rookie corner, man. I mean, he played better than Carlton Davis to me. I think Carlton Davis was the joke giving up that touchdown. That's just my opinion. You got a guy who that's like throwing a 60-mile-an-hour knuckleball up to the plate, bro. He threw that in the corner to Harrison, and he was running to try to save. You know what I'm saying? Where was you at on that play? How I'm more upset about that than anything. It's like, dude, you look like what's his Jerry Jacobs, or he looked just like them
Oh
guys to
man,
me, man.
Carlton Jacobs,
Yeah, man. I you
Jerry Davis,
miss me with that Carlton Davis. So you're a good
Carlton
signing,
Vildor.
crap. Yeah, man. Oh my God.
You
And
done
then
gave up on them already, man.
I'm just saying I don't like what I see. That's all I'm saying. It's been 2 games now. You know what I'm saying? Where he's the one constantly giving. At least Terry Arnold is in the picture of the screen. You know what
No,
I'm
he's
saying?
competing. Yeah,
He's out there. Carlton Davis ain't nowhere to be found, dude. When his guy's catching the ball, so that's what I didn't like. But anyway, I don't want to be too negative. But Derek Barnes getting hurt. That was hopefully. I don't know if you heard anything, Walt. If anybody heard it,
no,
drop some knowledge in
man.
the comment sections. I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's my
Salim
guy.
either.
Yeah, Lee McNeil, that's my guy. I seen Sam Laporta limping. I seen Brian Branch, man. Oh my goodness, Brian Branch has been playing one of the best safeties in the league, man. Already, I think that kid ready to go. He ready to play ball. He made his mark felt, you know, on the run game and the pass game. Brian Branch has been a joy to watch so far this year. You know what I'm saying? He had that one bad game where he, didn't
Then
play
Kirby
well.
as well too.
Yep,
They've been
Kirby
getting, yeah.
Joseph. Yep, Aaron Glenn. Just give Aaron Glenn what he need, man. He'll make it work. Marcus Davenport played great. Makai Wingo is in there on a
Told
lot of
y'all, man,
plays.
he was gonna win a job, but he was gonna
Yeah,
play some. He was gonna play some type of role for this team this year.
yeah,
So
like
far, it's
him.
working.
So I like the defense. Defense is humming right now, man. I like how they play. I like Hutch play good. Another sack. Just constantly just being there, right place, right time for me. I like that. I like Malcolm Rodriguez when his name's been called this year. Malcolm Rodriguez has come to play, man. It's funny how you forget about guys, and we put labels on them and say they can't do this or can't do that, and sometimes that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Guys are bust.
Malcolm Rodriguez know his role on this team, and he's been more than capable of filling in on. So now I don't know for a whole season. Let's hope Barnes can come back, but Jack Campbell, like I said too, I know that he noticeably play well. So
All right, man. I want to go through some numbers real quick. This
yeah,
2013 win over Arizona Golf, 18-23 for 199, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Kyler Murray, 21-34 for 207, 1 touchdown and a pick. David Montgomery, 23 carries for 105. Not a really great average, but 1 touchdown. It was good enough. St. Brown, 7 for 75 on the touchdown. Then, of
yeah,
course, for Arizona, Marvin Harrison, 5 catches, 64 yards, 1 touchdown.
yeah.
373 yards of total offense. Not huge numbers at all. It was enough to get past Arizona. Arizona only had 27. Dominated time of possession, 36 minutes and 49 seconds to just 23 minutes and 11 seconds for them boys over there. 23 first downs to 17 for Arizona. I'm going to say this, as they said repeatedly during the broadcast. I think they're kind of where we were 2 years ago. They just don't have enough people. That's kind of what I walked
Yeah.
away from with Arizona. They don't have enough offensive line talent. Although I do like Paris Johnson, the left tackle. But, they're lacking a lot of talent overall on the offensive line.
Mhm.
Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr., they're still
Mhm.
filling their way out in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this about Marvin Harrison Jr., and it's something that came up about him during the draft process. He really can't separate. Now, when he was at Ohio State, main credit there at Ohio State, went to I forgot the Brian Hartline, wide receiver coach and offense coordinator overall in that system. They're great at scheming open their wide receivers.
Hmm.
He really can't separate. He can't separate, and then I noticed he doesn't play the ball as physically as like Malik Neighbors does. Like Malik Neighbors is 6 foot, 6'1", 205.
Oh
He
boy,
plays
yeah,
bigger than his size. He plays meaner. He plays a little stronger. He goes up and attacks the football.
yeah, he
I,
played
I
ball,
walked
man.
away from this game kind of disappointed in what I saw from Marvin Harrison Jr. to be 6'4". He's only 211. I understand his father wasn't really a physical type of wide receiver either, but to be that size, have that wingspan, and to go up against smaller corners like ours and get kind of pushed around and bullied around at the catch point, that was kind of shocking for me.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean he's not going to still be a really good player in the NFL, but I just walked away from this game today, kind of disappointed in what I saw from Marvin Harrison Jr. But
Yeah,
outside of that, man, I think
yeah,
Arizona they just missing some people.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it. A couple more drafts,
yeah,
maybe a free agent signing here or there. Maybe Kyler can get more consistent from the pocket. All the throwing off platform we don't have to. Leaning all to the left, fading away, airmailing guys that's wide open. There were times where Marvin was wide open and he just sailed the ball because the mechanics is just the footwork. He's got a ton of arm talent at the end of the day, but he's just too inconsistent from the pocket right now.
yeah,
Which is kind
yeah,
of crazy because this is what year 6 for him now.
yeah,
And you're still talking about the same things with him. How coachable is he? Is he willing to change some things on the field to become a better quarterback? James Conner's good.
yeah.
Trey
Like
Benson, I
James
think,
Conner.
provides a change of pace back for them. So
Yeah,
they got some pieces. They just not good enough right now.
yeah, yeah. And like you said, I think they are building that team correctly. You know what I'm saying? As far as you mentioned Paris Johnson, like you said, I like him too. Trey McBride at tight end. Mac Wilson was a beast for them. I think defensively. Buda Baker, we wanted him last year. When trade deadline at the time for say uh, one of the best safeties in the league, in my opinion, experience wise. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Arizona got some talent, but like you said, ultimately the Lions were a better team and they should have won the game. But and just what Broken Tubman said, I was going to get to that too. He was right on point. What I was going to say is nobody is actually killing it in all faith. Like Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota's 3-0. We got to give them their credit, and that was a team. Hey, Lamar been on this show. He adamantly said the Vikings, y'all better watch out. And I was like,
Yeah,
man, you crazy. But it shows you how Kevin O'Connell is just, made chicken salad out of chicken, what. You know what I mean? It's been awesome to see, the transformation in Sam Darnold, you know what I mean? Because everybody, including myself, I'm like, dude, what do we have to worry about in Sam Darnold? But all the guys, Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. I mean, none of these guys have really been tearing it up to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So I think
yeah,
for that sense, I think the Lions are still in the race. Even Matthew Stafford today, Stafford played great. But Rams, by the way, did the Lions a favor. Well, they did themselves a favor too, but they beat the 49ers. They're 1-2. The 49ers are 1-2. The Rams are 4-2. 1-2.
yeah.
As well as the Cowboys. So
Cardinals 1-2.
yeah, Cardinals 1-2. Tampa, the mighty Tampa Bay Bucks lost. You know what I'm saying? The team I was
Yeah,
saying
that's
they
you.
was a
Them your
playoff team.
boys. Them your
Yep.
boys.
Saints lost. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's not that bad, the grand scheme of things. When you look at it, you don't see anything that's a juggernaut in front. Even the Vikings, I'm gonna give them credit. I ain't gonna disrespect them. They ain't first place right now. You know what I'm saying? But the Lions got to beat that team. You know what I'm saying? Lions got to beat the Packers. Packers looking good right now. Malik Willis at quarterback. So nobody is really throwing for 300-400 yards passing.
Oh
Even
no.
the passing
Yeah.
numbers are down. You look at Justin Herbert. What was that? I seen the stat. The Chargers had -5 yards in the second half. The whole second half. So
So do people really believe, because a lot of these teams didn't play their quarterbacks during the preseason.
mhm.
So do people honestly still believe right now that the preseason, the lack of preseason, the lack of continuity getting out there? I understand guys aren't playing the entire game during preseason, but
Yeah,
live action.
Yeah.
Just a tune up. That's all it is sparring for the
Yeah.
most part. You're going out there getting a little bit of sparring in before a fight.
Yeah.
Guys went into this season completely cold, I think. And defenses are always ahead of offenses for the most part anyway. So I think, to me, the lack of preseason for a lot of these teams matter.
Hmm.
For a lot of these quarterbacks too, because it's granted guys aren't playing the best right now. We just kind of talking about our guy and how we
Hmm.
can get our guy up to par so he's playing better
Yeah.
midway season, late season for the most part. But yeah, I mean, offenses are struggling right now. They are
Yeah.
struggling. Everybody looking inconsistent, but we said we kind of expected that. 17 game season now over the last couple years.
Yeah.
Inconsistencies in the scheduling. Teams playing 3 games in 11 days. You got to, I think, handful of teams got to do that, including our team for that matter.
Yeah.
Guys playing across the water. You got games on Fridays. Like, it's too many moving variables right now. The injuries piling up for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Poor quarterback play. Will Levis.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
So
God, Will Levis. So
yeah, it's too many. It's too much going on. I think the league kind of set things up over the past few years. They wanted this because after
mhm.
Brady and the Patriots dominated for so long, you kind of want parity now. There's no telling what kind of Super Bowl matchup we might get this year.
And they would never do this, but I'm thinking just for me to answer your question on that, do away. I don't want to play my guys in the preseason. I still don't want to do it after the slow start. Just do away with preseason. Just do 18 games. You know what I'm saying? Can we do
Damn, can we
18
add
games?
another bye?
Yeah,
Add a
that's what I'm
second bye
saying.
week.
Exactly. Yep. I would say add a second bye week. This Lions season got me scared to death. Having a bye week after next week's game, it's a bye week. I mean,
Yeah,
way too early, man. Way too. So you're gonna want the Lions to play. What is it? You're gonna want us to play 13 straight games and the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Virtually. So virtually, we got to the Super Bowl, we would play basically a whole season without a bye week. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Basically, what's going to come down to that's pretty alarming too, and I think that's ridiculous for the league to even have that. Who agreed
And
to
then
that?
remove the buys though. Remove now it's only 2 buys. One in
Yeah,
the East, one in the NFC, one in the AFC. Y'all basically just drop one block of cheese down into a barrel full of rats.
yeah. And these guys are
Yeah,
not robots, man. You do have to have your body does need, you know, some recovery time. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys are getting, not they're not getting the recovery time that they need. I think, like you said, well, I think that is a part of it. Injuries play a part in this thing, man. And if as much as we talk about, Jared Goff, this that is limitations. If he gets hurt, we toast. I mean, it's crazy to even say that. You know what I'm saying? Like Justin Herbert got hurt. That's
yeah,
why Tyler Heineke got in the game, and they basically didn't have a play for him. They didn't even have a play. Harbaugh, Harbaugh is a nut when it comes to just coaching up his quarterbacks. Didn't he have a play to run for him? You know what I'm saying? So basically, they conceded the game, basically, to just have -5 yards and try to run the ball. So we seeing it. I'm not worried. I thought that the mighty Chicago Bears would be way more formidable. Well, and they're 0-3. You know what I'm
out the
saying? And
gate.
it's flipped. You know what I'm saying? It's flipped. Now I thought Minnesota and Chicago would be flipped right now, and it's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? And the Bears will win a game at some point. So it's not like, they're gonna go 0-17 or anything like that. But it's hard, man. When you got quarterback trying to learn on the job, it's hard. Look at Anthony Richardson. He's struggling a little bit too. To all the
They got
talent in
what,
the
2 wins
world.
though?
Yeah,
They
of
2 and
course. Yeah,
1?
exactly. But he hasn't played great either. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So what's the other kid that won today? Bo Nix. Bo Nix got his first win. You know what I'm saying? So I think everything is great as far as I like the Lions team as a whole defensively. I think that's going to bode well for us. You know what I'm saying? But it just me one of those weeks where we know, Walt, the defense might not have a good game. You know what I'm saying? And the offense going to have to play well. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully
Yeah.
when that happens, Jared Goff up for the challenge. That's all.
Something else, and I don't want to just be the bearer of bad news, man. Everybody who follows us and everybody in the comment section been following us for a while. They followed the last channel knows. I think deep on a lot of stuff, man, especially with this team. I look at them offensive scheme, well, at least run blocking scheme wise. They're predicated. They're on the line of scrimmage blocking type of scheme team. They don't get out in space. They don't run too much zone. They don't, for one, they don't have the athletes on the offensive line to really do that outside of Panay Sewell. Taylor Decker was a pretty good athlete earlier in his career. He's starting to get on the decline a little bit. And he was never really a guy that was out there. He was athletic as far as in his pass sets, blocking scheme wise, but he was never the guy to get out there in space like Panay Sewell, get to the second level, take on backers. That's not what he's going to do. They don't have a lot of variety outside of off the line of scrimmage blocking wise. Like maybe they're not going to implement anything like that scheme wise this season, but maybe next season to kind of help unlock
Mhm.
Jahmyr Gibbs, get him
Yeah,
on the perimeter a little bit more. Because if you're not going to have anybody consistently in the passing game generating big plays downfield,
yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs outside of Jameson Williams is the only other guy that has that type of juice that can get in space, has some 4.3 speed, maybe can create a 45-yard run every now and then. Not too much. You need, I think on a game-to-game basis, offensively, you would like to get at least 3 plays per game of like 15 to 20 yards or more. So that way you're not always stuck having to play consistently safe football, 11 play drive, 12 play, 13, 14 play drives.
Mhm.
A lot of
Yeah.
shit can happen and when you have to have that type of
That many
perfection.
plays. There we
Yeah.
go. There we go. Correct. You're right on.
Fumbles, interceptions, penalties.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
some chunk plays. Somebody that can get you from you take over at your own 12-yard line, a guy that can get you out to the 41
Yeah.
real
And
quick with
and
a.
and then too, David Montgomery. Let's be honest, man. I think he's been an
That's my
MVP of
guy,
this.
man.
Yeah, yeah. David Montgomery
Yeah.
been the MVP of this team. Flat out. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's been Aiden Hutchinson with the defense so far. I think David
Kirby and
Montgomery, yeah, David Montgomery's been great, man. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Every time, even it seems like he's gonna get tackled for a loss, and he just keeps churning, keeps moving,
He
determined.
can't get beat up.
Yeah, it's right. If he missed that, now I don't even want to think about that. But it's just right now. I think you play to your strengths until everything falls in line. And right now
Gotcha.
they are doing it correctly by remember last week we said, well, golf can't throw the ball 55 times, man. It's not, what I'm saying,
True.
it's not even going to be a situation where that bodes well for us, you know what I'm saying? But they did today. Listen, the
Today,
offense ain't great
23
right now.
times.
Yeah, they ran the ball. What was it, 30, maybe 30? I think the graphic I seen was 35 times total between him and Gibbs. Another 150 plus yards. Off the top of my head. Both of them scored touchdown. Gimmicky touchdown, however you want to call it. A right place, right time. I love it. You know what I'm saying? So I do think it's gonna get better, but I agree with you, Walt. I think down the line, I think that if you don't have a deep threat, a guy that, like you said, that you could other teams as the season goes on, they know what you can do and what you can't do. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to force you to
Well,
get
teams
out
already know what we don't. We
and
defending
we
our
get.
passing game, they already know. We can
Hmm.
take this route out, we can take that route out, and that route out because Ben Johnson and them, they don't run those type of routes in their offense. And it just makes you easier to defend. We got to play perfect. The way we got to play offensively the first 3 games of the season remind me of what Dan Campbell said 2 years ago. And I think it was after the New England game when New England beat us bad up there. Was it
Hmm.
26-0, I think?
Yeah.
He
Yep.
talked about the mistakes Jared Goff made and the penalties and everything. He was saying how we had to play perfect football in order for us to win. In theory, you would think that having a upper echelon quarterback like Jared Goff that you would be able to, because there's still enough talent offensively. As much as I may rag on the third wide receiver position, there's still enough talent offensively for us to look better offensively than what we look right now. So, like I said, man, I mean, things about to get kind of sticky. You got Seattle coming to town next
Yeah.
Monday. You got all of those corners, those DBs out there.
Yeah.
They already know. We already know what Mike McDonald wants to do with us.
Yeah.
They
They're gonna
got
take
talent in
away.
that front seven. I think this is going to be the game Monday
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I said. We're
They're going
gonna
to have to
learn a lot of.
score.
Yep, we're gonna learn a lot about this team. Is I think they're gonna take the running game away. I think that's what they're gonna try to do, and they're gonna know they're gonna force the Lions to throw the football. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if they're successful, meaning the Seahawks again, this will be like the third straight year. You know what I'm saying? Where we had trouble with this team, and you know other teams gonna go off that tape. Packers, Vikings, you know what I'm saying? Chicago, they're all looking. You know what I'm saying? They all kind of familiar with us anyway because we play them twice a year anyway. But yeah, I agree totally with you, Walt. This is the game right here. I got circled on my head. I had
Goff
four
is gonna have to
games.
play. He's gonna have to play big time. I think this game, like
You know,
23 pass attempts, 199 yards. I don't think that's gonna really cut it Monday.
yeah, yeah. And I had four games circled on. I had five Lions games on my calendar this year circled. This Seattle game was the first one I had. No, I had the Rams to begin the season because I thought that was a key matchup. I got Seattle. This the next game I had circled. I had the Cowboys circled. And I had the Texans. Those were the games that I had, and the 49ers at the end of the season. So those are the barometer games to me. This is the second one. You know what I mean? The Rams, I thought because we played them in the playoffs, turning into a big rivalry,
It was
with
gonna be
that
a tight
team.
game.
It's going to be a tight game, right? So this is the second one here. Let's see, are we ready, man, for the and things can look different. Make no mistake about it. Week 1, week 2, things become different, man. You know what I'm saying? Now we saying this, the Lions can go out and score 30. You know what I'm saying, at home. You know what I'm saying, and it be an afterthought of their struggles. So can they
Yeah,
beat it? Can they change it around? Of course they can. You know what I'm saying? But
it's interesting. That's all
yeah,
it is. Like Corey Patterson said, this is a test for Goff for sure. Can Ben Johnson adjust? Is the question. And yeah, we being real about it. They fell behind the Seattle big time the last two games.
they
Here,
jumped on us. Yeah, they
yeah,
jumped on us quick. Yep.
and then once Seattle started to back off a little bit defensively, Jared started picking them apart underneath. The running game started to get some running lanes open because Seattle was playing a lot of which I hate when teams do that. They were playing a lot of three deep man, whatnot, leaving a lot of things open underneath. Um, but Seattle's they've had our number, so it's gonna be a huge test, I think, for the defense too. Defensive personnel is different though from what it was against Seattle at the beginning of the last season. I think we're a lot better defensively. This is better. This is the best we've been defensively since what this regime got here, for that
Yeah,
matter. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's man. You talking about Woolen and them boys out there?
yeah.
Our secondary, Metcalf and Jigba. If anybody knows about Seattle today, if anybody got hurt, I'm just throwing the names out there because these are all names. These are all big time players we know about with Seattle. Not
They've been
sure. Didn't
running the
check out the
football
injury
too.
report for them too. Yeah, they can run
Yeah,
the football as well
yeah.
too.
Charbonnet what got four? They said four touchdowns in the first three games since Sean Alexander. You know what I'm saying? So they pretty much want to do what we like to do too. You know what I'm saying? They want to run the ball too as well to set up the pass. So yeah, I mean I think it's gonna be another crazy atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Lions do have a home field advantage. Here when teams come here, I do believe that. And it's going to be a good test. This is a good test for our team. Well, because you get Chicago, Seattle's 3-0. You know what I mean? They're coming in here, and you want to get this one, especially before you get a bye week coming up the next week, and then you got to go out to Dallas play the Cowboys. So, you
Yeah, I
know,
mean you playing the numbers game now.
mm-hmm.
You beat the Rams, you beat the Cardinals. You don't see San Francisco till week 17, I believe. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
play. Yeah, we don't play them to week 17. Seattle's 3-0 right now.
mm-hmm.
You don't want anything to happen with them where they end up, they beat us and then they can hold over on us later on in the season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a situation where I see you
Can you
got some.
still hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right,
Technical
I just froze
difficulty.
up. I
Yeah,
got it.
but I can hear you, but you froze up. Yeah, but I just want to say this, before we, let these people go tonight for this post game. It was some good things that happened. You know what I'm saying? I think when you got a team that's struggling offensively, the best equalizer is if you have a run game and you have a defense, you can get by. And I think with Lions fans, that's what we can kind of hang our hat on, and that's a good thing. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are another team that's 3-0. They don't have great numbers at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But they got a hella good defense, and they can run the football, and that's the recipe uh, for a good team that's trying to figure it out offensively, and it will be a time during the season where the Lions will figure it out offensively. I really believe that. I think that it's not all doom and gloom. It's not like we're saying that they can't function, but it's just frustrating when you have the weapons that we have, and then you can't get over 20 points. Basically. So there you go.
Well,
You hit
yeah. And I'm gonna keep talking about this.
Yeah.
You're not gonna win too many games against quality opponents
No.
going entire halves without scoring.
Yeah,
First or second.
it's
For damn
ridiculous.
sure not the second.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't. You cannot take advantage whenever you get a turnover, you have to make the other team pay. At some point, you know what I'm saying. If you don't score, which they did it today, so okay, they didn't score after they intercepted Kyler Murray, but they did eat a bunch of time off the clock. They did. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I feel like if you don't at least get a field goal, at least run that clock as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? To put more pressure on them to score the next time. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It always something crazy happens in Arizona. Not too crazy this time, but I was just disappointed that we didn't score and bury. We should have had 34. You know what I'm saying? If you had to nitpick the game as a whole, I figured we left 14 points on the table that we should have got. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. All right, man. I want to bring up something real quick before we get out of here. A lot of fans, a lot of subscribers, a lot of
mhm.
viewers didn't see this, I'm pretty sure, this morning. Um, if you wasn't on Facebook or LinkedIn for the matter, you didn't see it yesterday either. But this was a graphic that we had up here for the pregame show to really talk about what was going on with Arizona, some of their better players, what we needed to look out for that matter. Kyler Murray, game changer, improviser,
Mhm.
vertical arm, routinely looks for downfield shots. He was doing it today for damn sure, throwing into double coverage, triple coverage, just putting the ball up there to be gotten. We got away with one today on him with Kirby Joseph. Starting early, as you mentioned, he was running the ball really well early. I thought for a second, hey man,
Mhm.
we might be in for it. This dude might get 115 on his 120. Didn't happen. They did better on him. They adjusted.
Mhm.
Shout out to Aaron Glenn and his defense so far. Cardinals
Yeah.
on third down. What was the Cardinals third? Let me see something right quick. On third down, the Cardinals are 1 for 9. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's something right there that people didn't pay attention to, I think. On
Mhm.
third down, the Cardinals were having a lot of success. The first 2 games of the season, we were able to stop them completely. They were also fourth in the league in rushing yards to start the season. Where were they at in rushing yards for that matter? We held them to 77 rushing yards.
Mhm. Yeah, it's not bad.
That's nothing new. We hold everybody under 100 yards for that matter. We neutralize the edge rushers for the most part. A lot of quick passing game, keeping them on roller skates. We dominated them in the trenches. They were having issues in the trenches for the most part the first couple games of the season, got them together. Did a good job of not allowing Buda Baker to destroy the game plan. For damn sure, we talked about that. You have to identify him. Is he in the box? Is he in the slot? Is he online? Is he the joker? Is he the robber? Is he high? Is he shallow? I think we just did a really good job overall of taking away what Arizona did well. And
Yeah.
Arizona's still young too. They're
Yeah.
young for
For
that
sure.
matter.
For sure.
But they have game changers. Marvin Harrison Jr. Kyler Murray can make things happen with his legs as well as his arm, but they're still, feeling their way through everything. It's a young football team. I still think they're about 2 drafts away. What I pulled away from this game today is it's one of those games you see the Kansas City Chiefs win a lot of,
Mhm.
where we're better than you. We can play down to you because for years the Lions couldn't play down to anybody. They
Yeah.
had to play
Right.
great to win games and still not choke it away at the very end. But what I walked away from today was we're better than Arizona. We've got more talent than Arizona. Our coaching staff is better than Arizona. We just happen to be at a point in time now where we can play down to our level of competition and still win games. That's kind of what I saw today. We can play our C- game and
Still
still beat
win.
bad teams.
Yeah. Yep. And sometimes that's all it take. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? And why ruin not ruin, but why let the cat out the bag for the next opponent and bringing out new stuff, offensively when you kind of really don't have to. Remember, NFL was all about game planning. And like the Rams, remember the overtime, we didn't run no plays. We just say, you know what, we're gonna run the ball because they can't stop us and win the game. And I think they kind of had that last drive. It wasn't like when we had the ball with 3 minutes left, remember, and we got to the 2-minute warning and pretty much down the ball after that. I don't think they had no intention on scoring. You know what I'm saying, Walt? They just figured, like, you know what, this game is over. We got the ball. They can't break through our line. They can't stop us, just like the Rams. So this game is over. If we get to the 2-minute warning, we get 2 first downs, this game is over. So I
And
think,
peace to
like you
Goff,
said,
because Goff did make that big
yeah,
third down
yep,
throw
he
to St.
did.
Brown.
Yep, he got the big third down throw, and he ran for. Remember, he ran for the other one too, and that iced the game pretty much. So yeah, I mean, I do think they still struggling. I think a lot of teams across the NFL. You said it. I don't have to re-say it again, but I just think a lot of teams offensively is like trying to catch up right now. You know what I mean? And Lions remind me of Pittsburgh right now. Like I said, I don't know if you heard that when you was having technical difficulties, but Pittsburgh, you got their quarterback play has been pathetic. You know what I mean? But they
They
can
3
run.
and 0.
They defense is hell of a. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
you know, so
definitely. All right, man.
yeah. So yeah. So if we want to put a bow on this, we're gonna come back probably Tuesday, Thursday, for Seattle. This week, Walt, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to game plan. Your thoughts on the game plan coming up, scouting report on our next opponent, which is Seattle. A team that likes to run the football, likes to play, um, likes to play aggressive defensively. They got two, running backs. They got a decent offensive line. This gonna be a good. This is a test right here. This is a good matchup coming up for us. So, um, yeah, we could sign off tonight. I think I can't hear you. You're hearing Walt. I can't hear you. But we signing off for tonight. Appreciate everybody for listening, for watching. Good win tonight. Lions win 20-13 over the Arizona Cardinals. Push their record to 2-1. Listen, our division. You look at the NFC South. I mean, the NFC North right now. You got the Vikings at 3-0. You got the Packers at 2-1. You got the Lions at 2-1, and you got the Bears at 0-3. It's only week 4, but something's got to give. Peace, y'all.